You just got Autofilled jungle? Don't panic. Follow these tips that I use to carry my jungle games in Masters. Okay, quick rundown on Gragas abilities. Passive, heals on ability cast. Q, barrel does more damage and a bigger slow the longer it sits. It also gives vision. W, gives you damage reduction and an empowered auto attack. This is your primary tool for clearing. You should spam it on cooldown. Your E is a dash and a knock up into stun. If you hit a target, the cooldown is reduced by 40%. Q and alt can be cast during your E. Normally, if you hit your E, you win. If you miss your E, you die. Gragas' alt knocks enemies back from the center of impact. They will always travel 900 units, so if you knock them into a wall, it's basically a stun. It's also great for stealing objectives by knocking the enemy jungler away from Baron or Dragon. This is a new style video I'm trying out. If it helps you win your next autofill game, consider sticking around for more. Gragas Jungle is about middle of the pack with clear speed. However, his ganks are really powerful early game, so you should be looking for any ganks early on. I see that my bot lane are fighting level 1, and are past the river. In this spot, most players make the mistake of finishing the camp, so I stopped doing Gromp and Run Over. I'm only level 2, but having Flash, Body Slam, and Electrocute means that I have everything I need to win this fight bot. With E-Flash, I close the gap instantly, getting a kill and forcing some. Sadly, I missed Aphelios, but he's too low to stay and has to recall, giving my bot lane a perfect shove into reset. Now that I've ganked bot level 2, the enemy jungler knows exactly where I am, and it leaves my entire top side completely open. Immediately after a level 2 gank bot lane, you should reset and go defend your top side from an invade. For runes, you take Electrocute and Sudden Impact for the damage, Sixth Sense for the ward reveal, and Relentless Hunter for the out-of-combat movement speed. And on the secondary tree, Hexflash lets you get off ganks that you normally couldn't. Cosmic Insight for the summoner spell Haste, for the flash and smite cooldown. Item Haste is pretty nice too. Once you get 900 gold, Aether Wisp is a perfect first item for Gragas. It gives you movement speed and AP, lets you get around the map easier. This is why you take Sixth Sense. It lets you know when something's warded and a gank won't work. Hexflash will catch a lot of people out. Sometimes you just gotta keep fishing for ganks while waiting for your camps to come back up. At this point, we've ganked quite a lot. It's time to catch up on XP. Because we gank so much early game, it's better not to toss the game trying to coin flip a dragon. Hitting level 6 is our biggest power spike, and it's the difference between winning or losing the first objective fight. If you force plays on Gragas, you will win. Gragas excels at counter plays. You need to be at the right place at the right time while farming efficiently, and the game becomes a lot easier to play. Getting a pick before going for an objective makes the objective way easier to take without having to flip the game for it. Remaining critical of your own gameplay is how you improve. I definitely could have just killed Graves when he walked up to smite the grub, but I was too tunnel focused on killing the grubs that I didn't even think about trying to kill him. Gragas excels from ganking from the Fog of War, so get to the objective early, clear vision with red trinket to get picks. Sometimes doing damage is enough to set up for the objective. Once there are no objectives on the map, you should look to full clear and answer any plays that happen. When solo laners kill their opponent, they like to push the lane out to force a crash so the wave will bounce back to them. Use this to get a free gank off. This was a hard fight to get into. Mundo and their Echo's TP is cutting off our ADC from our support and Poppy TP. I sit on the side waiting for TF to reposition. Once we are in position, I engage to split their team focus on our Karma. By letting some of their team through and then cutting off of Helios, I successfully split the fight into two 2v2s, buying space and time for my Victor to show up to the team fight. At this point in League of Legends, when the bot laners go mid, the mid laners start pushing the side lane to get outer towers. This opens them up to ganks after a full clear. Lichbane is also one of Gragas' best items, which also helps him clear wards. While we're killing Echo, their team starts positioning for Dragon. But because we got a pick first, we can get a free team fight in by pincering them on the Dragon Pit. Even when you don't get the objective, getting a pick then fighting for the objective will set your team up for a winning fight. With 4 on their team dead, we get to shove waves into their towers, building our gold lead while reducing the amount they can earn. For the build, you should always be building Lichbane first into Shadow Flame. After that, your options open up. If they are very ranged heavy, you can use Proto Belt to close the gap. If they have a lot of assassins or burst, you can get Sonias in order to avoid it. And if you are really fed, you can just buy a death cap to one-shot them. Just because there are no objectives up and your Krugs are alive doesn't mean you should ignore a gank or dive on the side lane. Because I skipped a camp near my top side to gank, it allows me to stay in the area farming to answer a gank or counter dive. Once again, I drop a camp to get into the action. Showing up to the teamfight when I did allowed my team to siege bot tier 2 with no fear. Seeing that my team is pushed up, I ignore all my camps on my side of the map in order to be in position for a play. This is something I see a lot of junglers struggle with. Skipping camps in order to be in the right place at the right time will win you the game over another full clear. I know this looks really yin, which it is, but watch what happens. For I know my team is fed and can win this fight if I break their defensive stance. After the Poppy ult sending their tank away, their team is routed and has lost cohesion. This allows my team to walk forward while their team waits for their spells to come back up. Without breaking through this choke point, my team would be stuck dying there where I did. Their backline has been exposed, making it hard for their DPS to play, leading to a fight win. After 20 minutes, you should start planning on how to end the game. Currently we have 2 dragons and they have 2 dragons. Every dragon takes 5 minutes to respawn, so Soul would be after 30 minutes. We have a 10k gold lead, which should be enough to end the game without Soul. This might sound simple, but in order to win a game of League of Legends, you have to blow up their nexus. To get to their nexus, you need to destroy their towers and inhibitors. In order to do this, you need to get picks and then siege a lane. Now that we've gotten 2 picks and are pushing mid with Baron, it's time to go for the end. The siege should be slow and methodical, looking for more picks while not getting picked yourself, all while chipping away at their structures. Disjointing death timers is how a siege turns into a win. Staggering their deaths is the fastest way to the nexus. If they never have 5 people alive at once, they can't actually stop you from ending the game. Even with a Baron buff siege, sometimes the enemy team just holds on. If you can't crack the base before they all respawn, don't force it. That's how you throw. It's better to retreat and find a new angle. Look at the map, they're desperate to fix their lanes. If we catch them out one last time, it's GG. Because Gragas doesn't have the best clear, don't get baited into an AFK full clear game. Gragas is a playmaker that thrives on making an impact on skirmishes. Even though I'm down in CS, I'm up in gold, so don't be afraid to leave a camp if you see a winning play. League is a game of numbers and pressure. Your goal is always the same, keep the enemy on the defensive. Don't be afraid to make the ugly play if it's the one that wins the game. If this new style of guide helped you feel a little less panicked about your next jungle game, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear which tip saved your LP. And if you want to see more high-elo breakdowns for when Riot decides to autofill you, consider hitting subscribe. Go look on the Rift, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
I'll drink you under the table, scrub.